So, folks, would like to say thank you for rejoining us. We're still here in the executive mansion, specifically the tea house. So, you are witnessing the departure of cabinet members just after the conclusion of today's cabinet meeting, which was conveyed by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia. So you were saying senior government officials, they are departing the tea house. There is the finance minister. We also just saw the Minister of National Defense and that of the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. They were all part of the cabinet meeting today, but we are hoping to speak with the Presidential Press Secretary, Madam Kura Fofana, to bring up to speed as it relates to today's cabinet meeting that was held. And we're also seeing the Information Minister, Minister Jeremiah Matthew Pierre, along with the Presidential Press Secretary. So we are hoping that one of them could speak with us to bring up to speed as it relates to key discussions held in there. So we've been with you since morning to bring you a live coverage of today's cabinet meeting. And for those of you that, well, for those of you who were on the live this morning, we informed you of this cabinet meeting, that it is the third cabinet meeting of the year 2026, conveyed by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, as issues of importance were to be discussed, and they have finally come to conclusion. So we are hopeful to speak to any of them to inform us as to what were discussed in.
Kato said got a drop. You get it, we get it.
Oh, they put on your live.
Nothing else. Yes, quickly.
Yeah, Honorable Minister, my name is Anthony Williams. I work for National Television. This particular cabinet meeting was focused mainly on the country's mineral sector. You care to bring us up to speed on some of the discussions that were held in the meeting regarding advancement in the country's mineral sector?
All right, so one could say it was focused primarily on the mining sector. That's how I would like to put it. We have a lot of natural resources, but all of you have been a part of the criticism that even though we've reached in mineral resources, our country comparatively is still backward. We needed to have a clear picture of what is happening in the mining sector so as to inform decision making, to take some actions that will help the country get a better benefit of the minerals we have, particularly in the mining sector. So from a general perspective, I think that's why it was. But the Director General of the Cabinet is here, the Press Secretary is here, they could add on. But details of what transpired in the Cabinet meeting will be issued in two fronts. One, the Press Secretary has her press briefing tomorrow. She will give you much more detail. A brief communique will also be issued by the Office of the Director General of the Cabinet. Those two documentations will give you clearer details, step-by-step level, what we did in Cabinet. But on the summary, and to just look at it holistically, we got presentation from the mining sector, and then there were deep discussions on some of the things they presented. There were recommendations made for Cabinet endorsement. Cabinet took some decisions, but like I said, all of those will come when Kura briefs you tomorrow, and some of it will be contained in the communique that will be issued by the Director General of the Cabinet.
Thank you. Director, can we just one, Director? Okay. Sure. So, Director, one crucial one I want to
I get it.
have to do with the development of a new mining law and finalization of general mining regulations. The Cabinet supposed to make a decision on this.
Yeah, I think it's an amendment of the mining law because the law is limited in terms of the full gamut of mining operations in the country. So he was asking Cabinet, to look at the amendments in the law. And those amendments will be reviewed, and then, of course, I can speak to the details now. Those amendments will be reviewed, and then the Cabinet will endorse finally, those mineral laws. What is the second question?
It also has to do with the Whistleblower Act.
Oh, yes, of course. There are a lot of things, percolating through the system without us knowing, and so one of the ways, to get this done is through a system, where those who whistleblow on the irregularities and an infraction of the law and regulations, in a way can benefit, from what they'll be doing, because it's going to help the country a lot. Liberia now is suffering for what Ghana, used to suffer from, illicit mining, and we understand, because it's becoming an existential threat to the country's security and development, because people who have been chased away from other countries in the region because of illicit mining are gradually finding their way here to Liberia, and we want to stem that quickly as much as possible, to prevent what was happening in Ghana happening here. So the president has been firm about this. He's clear that our natural resources should be preserved for our country, and therefore anything that will undermine that potential will be addressed front on, or head front, as we will say.
Thank you, sir. Folks, that was the Director General. Clear points to present to us, but then the minister said we will get more details from you on Friday. But what is there for us to know as it relates to this Cabinet meeting that was just held?
Right, as you all know, and in addition to what Minister Pia as well as DG Kwabo talked about, it was primarily focused on the mining sector and talking about some of the challenges within the sector, the illicit mining, but this primarily was on finding solution and discussing what needs to happen. But I just wanted to add, in addition to that, two key documents were presented to His Excellency the President, specifically the revised National Energy Policy by the Ministry of Mines. It was presented to His Excellency, as well as the National Net Metering Policy of Liberia. Those two documents are very important within the energy sector to be able to help boost, the transmission or access to electricity, and seeing how those things will be. And as they mentioned, we'll talk more in detail in our press briefing tomorrow. But for the president, he really sees this sector as a major sector. Before the challenges, the prospect that was presented by the mining team is really high, talking about the future of our sector. So that is why at this juncture, the president and his team really looking forward to putting up these the benchmarks necessary, reviewing and amending the laws, but also strategically position our sector. Because as you see, Liberia is a small country, but there are challenges as to illicit mining, what they pose to the environment, to even the health sector. The Minister of Health also shared some challenges, as in some of the chemicals that are being used to pollute our waters. So all of these, there were teams set up to really look into, some of the challenges and how those challenges can be looked into and solution be proffered to the president for onward decision by the cabinet as well as His Excellency the President.
These two policy documents, how did Mr. President receive them upon presentation?
Well, he was very excited. He was happy because sometimes when we work in these sectors, we see the challenges and we just intend to find solution without any rating power. But now that there is policy and there is the energy policy, those documents, it will help boost the energy sector, and he's looking forward to, taking a look at it, reading it and discussing it with his
Well, folks, that's it. You just listened. Presidential Press Secretary, Madam